Wow, I have a lot of channels that I'm streaming to, or that I'm posting to. Give me a second, I'm readjusting the chat size. Right, and I need this back up because I need my reference image. Alright, so before we get too in depth in this, I need to clean some of my brushes. I really should do this beforehand, but, you know, I am a busy, busy individual. Righty. Get some hot water, rub this sucker in. I think there's some blue left over from when I Hey Murder! How's it going? So before we get too deep in this, I'm just cleaning off some of my brushes because they need it. And then I've actually got quite a few minis I'm going to be working on tonight. Going well, just waiting on Friday. Yeah, I know. I'm already dreading, I am already dreading this week. Hey, Xenon. I want to say that's Elril? Elril. Usernames always elude me. I apologize if I do not... Benji. Benji, Elril. That works. So, if you may notice in the upper right hand corner, I have a reference image that I'm actually going to be working with. Because I'm going to paint a horse today. Or at least that's the goal. It's always the grand goal. Okay, we're going to see how... Don't dread the week. Friday D&D is amazing. I wish I had a group to play with. Ah! Okay, so that's what you're waiting on. Yeah, no, I just don't want to work. I'd rather be home painting, streaming, writing, literally anything other than going to work. There we go. I'm going to stick you up there. I wouldn't mind it so much if I didn't end up finding something else, several things else that I'm very passionate about, like, oh, you know, painting, or playing D&D. But yeah. That's just the way things are. Okay, so this is technically a medium base brush, but I use this for a dry brush because I killed this brush. Hardcore. It's dead. Got my tea here. I'm gonna put that over there. As long as I don't dip my brush in it. I mean, I can. This paint's not toxic. Oh. I'm very glad that this is my shade brush and not something that needs precision. But yeah, so I do have a mini to show you guys that I was working on, that I finished. If you don't follow me on Twitter at all, or if you weren't paying attention to the Discord, I painted another horse, and I'll bring that out in just a second. So these horse styles were actually chosen by Bailey, because I know nothing about horses, and it's like, hey, what kind of horses? So this is a challenge one that she gave me, which is this very interesting spotted gray horse. But the first one I did was a bit more of a chestnut horse. Because again, I don't know anything about horses. Oop. All right. Some more tea. All right. So this is the horse that I need to adjust some things because I don't know how well you can see it. So yeah, so this is the horse that I made. It was Friday. I just painted it because I needed to de-stress a bit, but I had a lot of fun with it. Let's see if I can zoom in. Nope, that's the opposite of zooming in. I actually feel really proud of the fact that I managed to do a pattern on the cloth. That took me a little while. And we'll probably end up doing the same on this other horse, because that was a lot of fun. All right. Now we're in place. Okay, don't drink the paint water. That's just gross. Okay, there is one tool that I think I'm going to need for this paint job. If I can find it. Damn it. It must not be in this work area. I was going to grab a sponge. Pencils and shit, get out of my way. You know what? We'll just wing it. What's the worst that can happen? Alright, so I need my reference image again. If you guys cannot see what I'm painting, please let me know, because I'm running a little blind here. At least when I pull up reference images. Some of the times I can just do it off the top of my head. Alright, so I think what's going to be best for this, so I kind of picked the wrong gray, but that's fine, because I can... That is not looking too hot, but you know what? That is fine. We will work with it. Wait, I haven't used this brush in a while. Alright. Gotta get my microphone out of the way of the... I really need to mount this to the ceiling, because it is always in the way, and I keep smacking it with, my paintbrush. Alright, it's a much lighter gray, but I'm going to need several coats of that. Here, I'll actually... Nope, that's the wrong way. I'll zoom this in a bit. Yeah. So I'm always just working to try to build up my D&D mini collection, because I do love using minis at the table. But oftentimes I can get away with, you know, not having the distraction. But there are some cases in which having miniatures is super important in representing things at the table. Oh. Let me use my magnifying glass. Gets me a little bit closer to the action. So, depending on the lighting, because again, I'm not entirely certain how this all appears, how sometimes the colors appear to you guys. It might seem like I am doing absolutely nothing. But I'm putting a lighter gray, and also a gray that's not as blue, because the gray I first put down had a little bit too much, a little bit more on the cool side of things, and I did not want that. I wanted this to be much more of a mute gray. And the reason I'm not doing white is because it's fairly common that the white you see is actually more of an off-white. So true white is not nearly as common. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Oh, is this a bit blurry? Yeah, I was going to do this. So I've started recording, oh wow, yeah, that's not focused at all. That's focused on something else. Oh, now it does it as soon as I put my hand in the way. Goddamn autofocus. this gray is definitely coming off a lot more. Keep saying the video is unavailable for you. You should try refreshing multiple times until it starts working, because I don't know. Is anybody else having that problem? Actually, can Bailey even see me? Hear me? Olo. Hello. It's good to you? Alright. So I'm going to blame Bailey's end. The question was, is the video unavailable for you? So if the last horse was any indication, there's a very good chance that this actually will take me all night. But I'm hoping not. I need the reference image again. Okay. I hear them coppers. It wasn't me this time. You can't blame me. Within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to start my delve into painting, only half looking forward to it. Why do you say only half looking forward to it? I will say, don't be ashamed of your own work. But always look to improve. And that may have been a little bit too wet. Damn. Okay. I need to make room for my elbows up here. Because I'm going to be painting tons of minis and dungeon tiles for my Storm King's Thunder campaign coming up. Ooh. Yeah. I have just submitted to the fact that I will never have all my minis painted unless I suddenly go full time, and even then I will just keep buying more minis. So, yep, I'm doomed. Doomed forever. So you're more worried about the workload and not the actual process. I'll just paint when the printer is going. Theoretically, I'll never run out of things to paint. Yep. That is absolutely true. The workload and my schedule. Yep. I sympathize with the whole schedule thing. Right. So I'm almost done with this color for the time being. I mostly want to get another layer of this done on the behind, because I'm going to be getting into the speckling first, because it's going to be it might be a messy process. But we're going to experiment tonight. There's a painting technique I have not tried. I'm also not sure if it's a technique that most people use, but I'm going to use it. So the biggest part of this mini is that speckling on the horse, which, if you can't see, is up in this corner. I think my finger might be pointing towards it. Might be covered by it. Not sure. Alright. Gonna let that dry for a second. And what I'm going to do now... Yeah, I can't put any other colors on this just yet. Yeah, because this is going to be a mess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some paper towel. Like this. Get some tea. Now this is a really dark gray, but it's not quite black. And that's the other thing, is that, you know, black really isn't... Pure black isn't also found, but I use it a lot anyway, because it's less noticeable. It's less disturbing to look at. We're going to try it with this. So... I'm going to take a smidgen of this. So this might not work, because it might have just absorbed it. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to... Ooh, this might work. So what I'm sort of relying on for this is the inconsistent texture on the paper towel itself. How there's bumps and grooves and all that jazz. The challenge is actually getting it in the corner. No, that's really just making it look dirty. Not enjoying it. Try again. Okay, we'll try something else. Geez, I don't know how to help Bailey. I've never encountered it where it just says video unavailable. I also have no idea if Bailey can even hear me. My guess is no. She might have left... Oh. She might have left the chat. You might need to ping her in Discord. Oh, never mind. Well, that answers my question. Oh, shit. I've got no inkling of a clue as to how to help her. Error 5000. That's a Googleable error. So I'm just gonna have to paint over this until I get what I need. So I have another technique that I'm gonna try. It doesn't involve paper towel. Yeah, if I get some on the saddle and stuff, I'm not upset. Alright, so we are going to get the stippling brush. God, I haven't used this one in ages. She won't hear me, but Hey, Brew! Welcome! I am just working on getting my stippling brush ready. Playing that Apex game right now. It's growing on you? Oh, cool! I have yet to play it. You didn't like it at the start. Okay. So, the stippling brush is a little bit weirder. I'll actually lower the camera so y'all can see what I'm doing. So this is actually one way that I do blood splatters. Yeah, I was watching Marine 01 play it. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, so today just working on this gray spotted horse. I actually need to pull this up because I need to see what I'm doing. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of I haven't been a big fan of the Battle Royale games. But everyone's got their game. God damn it. So this one I can't really do the same kind of brush cleaning. Not really. Ooh, hey. Some of those are coming out. Hey, Maddie! How's it going? So, right now we are just spotting a horse. How are you doing this wonderful evening? Very funny. Now, this was a challenge given to me by Bailey. Saw your post and wanted to come by and say hi. Awesome! Thank you! Yeah. This is actually the first time I have painted since I've joined that Discord. So, well, the first time I've painted on stream. So I kind of have my reference image in the upper corner. It's not coming out quite how I want it to, but I have an idea of kind of brightening it up. Today is the day that I get out the stippling brush. Chris Camera above the Mini, Coffee Cat linked me to a webcam arm that should help with my set. Help mine since my setup was derpy. Sort of. Here, let me actually. This will be easier to show. Ignore that. We'll see if I can get it. So, let's see if I can lower this. Alright, so here's the camera that I use. This is actually a camcorder, and this is a bendable arm that I have. I need to actually move this. Sorry if you are having a hard time seeing that. This camera only has so much space left. So, for the most part, yeah, I use kind of a bendable arm, but I also do not use a webcam because it allows me to do stuff like this. So I have full control over zooming. I have a lot more control over lighting, and it just helps. What it does is it does HDMI out, and the cable actually comes across my desk here, and then it goes through a capture card. A few things I need to do. I need to, first of all, move this actually to the opposite side here. Move this monitor over here. And actually mount my microphone to my ceiling, because this gets in the way of my brush hand. So everything is just This would be a perfect setup for someone who's left-handed. Indeed. Thank you. But yeah, no, every now and then when I'm putting my brush in my palette, you'll hear me smack the microphone. So this is coming out interesting. But it also seems a lot messier thanks to God damn it. Seems a lot messier because it's hitting everything. What the hell? Had something stuck to it. Okay, I got a few areas that it's still... There's not a lot of stippling. Hold on. But yeah, so this is me trying to improve my skills a bit more, because you can never stop challenging yourself. Okay, so there is a lot of white on this horse. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get my white out, not the liquid paper, but like my white paint out. Yeah, words. And I'm going to do the same thing but with white. We're going to see how it turns out. My phone is vibrating. Stop vibrating. Oh. Just phone being annoying. Oh, this is a new technique I haven't heard of, using whiteout. Is this a new painting? There is an artist I actually follow on YouTube, which is interesting because he does traditional art, and I don't touch that at all. Well, I say traditional art, but I mean like he actually draws and shit. I don't. And his name is Jazza. It's Draw with Jazza. This is becoming a different kind of horse. I'm not sure how I like this. But you know what? It's interesting. Yeah, it's starting to just become like a salt and pepper horse. Which is cool, but I don't think that's quite what I was looking for. The bottom's completely screwed over. Give me a second. So I think what's throwing me off, actually. Nope, I'm not liking this. do it over. And I got white paint fucking everywhere. Okay, I'm retiring you, stippling brush. You are done for the evening. And probably for a while, because I never touch you. Well, at least I learned how to get that look, which is nice. However, that's not what I'm looking for. I also need my larger brush. So here's what we're going to do. This is going to be a little bit of a pain, but that's okay. And I think what my problem is... Oh my god, that was the word I was blindly groping for last night when I wanted to do blood splatter on the dragon board. Ah, yes! I love stippling. Unfortunately, I think that that changed the texture on this a bit. I've got it all over my hands. But it's not painting if it's not everywhere. Okay. This is fine. Thank you. That scratched an itch I didn't know I had. Well, that's good. Yeah. So I'm going to go with a white horse. And then I'm going to work from here. God. Congratulations, Bailey. You did manage to challenge me on this. Because most of the time I find a new technique and it just works. This did not work. I've tried a few things now. Oh god, I'm about to do the hard version of this. Yeah. I'm gonna do what I do best and overcomplicate it. So my only hope is that this stippling didn't alter the surface of it so much that it catches the wash. That's what I'm really hoping didn't happen. Maybe it just looks textured because I'm seeing the stippling through the I'm seeing it through the white paint, because this is going to need several layers. I'm starting to think that's all that is. A horse with a bad case of goosebumps. Well, in my world, that's called a healthy case of goosebumps. Too much paint. Too much paint. Abort, abort. Okay, so this isn't going to be the best horse in the world, but, you know, not every mini can be my best mini. It just has a little bit rougher of a coat of skin. Fur. Fur's the word I was looking for. Bad coat of skin. Oh, you know what? I can probably angle this back up a bit. Hey, stop being a jerk and work with me here. Alright. There we go. Yeah, this turned out. He's being sold at a discount in front of a city. Special, they call him. Unique as well. So the one thing I do really enjoy about these horse minis is that they do a very good job of defining the muscle of these things. Yeah, I think that is actually textured now. God damn it, Bobby. I'm just making sure that the mini is staying in focus at the same time. So I'm actually, funny enough, I am actually recording this. Because I realized that and you know, I realize I'm saying that as I'm live. But I'm actually recording this with this camera as well. Because I decided that I'm going to start filming pretty much just footage of me painting without the overlays and stuff. Because I can possibly use it later if I want to edit some videos together. So I think stippling is the answer here. However, I was going about it the wrong way. Here's what I'm going to do. So first off, I need to get down a solid coat of this white. But this is teaching me a really interesting. I've learned things today, and that's what matters. I'll get to minis I'm doing less new things for later. White is so freaking thin. Your name will be Steve. I have decided. I don't know why. I don't think I care to know why. But Special Steve. Oh god, I feel like that's gonna end up coming up in the campaign. See, here's the interesting thing, is I know that if I describe a horse with enough detail, and it interacts with them, the party's going to adopt it. That's just player logic. They're either going to adopt it, or kill it. Because with my players, they're probably very suspicious of a horse that comes up to them with any amount of interest. It's a monster! Murder it! Ooh, maybe I should do like a demon horse. The DM describes a mundane thing in detail. They attach to it. They attach to it or they get very worried. What do you use to seal your minis? I actually just use like the spray can sealant. I had a gloss finish, but I don't like the gloss finish. So I got a matte finish. Horse with a chest bursting imp. I mean, that's one way to do it. I was more thinking like a horse that it opens up its mouth and it actually opens wider than they expect and it starts trying to eat them. But, you know. Yeah. Go to feed the horse and it eats your entire hand. Unfortunately, I don't have my sealant nearby. But, yeah, it's stuff that I, does your mat suppress metals and shiny bits like blood or saliva? I haven't tested it with this stuff. So, I will have to get back to you on that. Because, again, I used to use gloss. And I didn't really like it as much. So a lot of my older minis that are sealed with a gloss. But it's the stuff that you pick up at, like, the Home Depot or just your local hardware store. God, this makes me feel so bad for this horse. I realized I didn't even touch the ears. But I actually have to seal the cart that I have still. So I will let you know, because the windows I have, I put a gloss finish on. And worst case scenario, those get turned, you know, kind of a matte coat, but... Oh, I didn't get between the legs here. Give me just a second. I need to put on my gloves because that is killing my wrists right now. Where the fuck did those go? What the fuck? Seriously, I had motherfucking my gloves right here. Oh, holy shit, how'd they get over there? That was last night with a model part. Ooh. Yeah. For me, it's just the edge of this desk. I might need to put like a, a thing of cloth here. Also, freaking secure down my mat board. My cutting board thing. All right. Let's get paint all over these again. Oh. Hey, Sarah. How's it going? Lucky for you, you missed me screwing this mini up. This is actually me redoing. I am doing pretty well today. I feel like I've been really productive, and that's a good sign. Well, no worries. Any mini I screw up, I can turn around and clean up. So I'm just kind of covering over my mistakes with more paint. Because that's the solution, is to just cover everything in paint. Yeah, I tried doing a weird... Oh, what happened to the mini? So I tried a technique. So if you can see in the upper right corner of the Minicam, I have an image. And that is my reference image for this horse. Well, let's just say, in attempting to do that, I got nowhere near that. And yeah, so I'm, again, just covering it all up. I used a stippling brush to try to get the spotted bits, but I'm going to try something else. Yes, I did. And that is not the correct way to get spots on an animal. That is how you get splatters. So, which I've used before to, like, splatter blood. You little bastard. I need to move all my brushes, because they are in the way of my arm. But yeah, so it may have messed up the texture a little bit, but I think I'll be able to get away with it. We will see once I do my third attempt. My first attempt was bad, but it wasn't terrible. But yeah, so I just got to keep putting layers of this white on because it helps cover up. It helps cover up the mistakes. Oh, thank you. I'll get it eventually. It might just mean that I have to do this at another date and strip this mini, which I am not opposed to doing. Because Bailey gave me a challenge, and I gotta do it because Jake couldn't cover crippling depression. Nope, sure can't. I've tried. But anyway, yeah. So, Bailey challenged me to this style of horse, and I'm gonna fucking do it. I will do it if it kills this horse. Gotta paint the butt. I swear I am an adult. Which is really unfortunate sometimes, because I don't want to be an adult all the time. Man, maybe that's the shirt I should have worn today. The I can't adult. I can't adult today. I actually wear that to work. Okay. So it's pretty white now. God damn it, I almost did it. Responsibility, just have fun. So I almost dipped my paint in my tea. I mean, because that would have fucking changed the world. Alright, so... what kind of tea do you drink? Well, today I am drinking... So I usually drink herbal tea because it doesn't have caffeine. I am drinking this Celestial Seasoning Honey Vanilla Chamomile because it's delicious. Oh, that wasn't a printer cartridge. Every artist's greatest enemy. Drink cups that look like paint cups. Well, it's not like... It doesn't even look that similar because I have like an actual cup and then I have my paint cup here. They're just close enough together that it's dangerous. Okay, I'm gonna put that away. So I'm gonna try this on one spot. Now there's your brush wants the tasty tea too. I know, bad brush. There is something that happens with paints when you get them really wet. Now, they kind of get like this. It's almost webbed look about them. And normally you want to avoid that. Well, today I am not going to avoid it. But we're going to do a test in one area and see if it works. I have a little scraper thing that I use to scrape paint. Oh, it's hiding. But ow. I'm going to use that technique here to try to purposely get some of that kind of that web. It's I can't describe what it looks like, but I know what I'm trying to say. I am also almost out of this paint. That is unfortunate. Okay, I really don't need any more. Gonna run for a bit. Thanks for the fun and enlightenment. I'll catch you later. Okay, have a great night, Maddie. Hope you have a great night. Oh, I was using a different color. Fuck. No, we're gonna go to that color, because I have more of it. I have a lot more of it. And it's better consistency. We're going to put this on a different corner of my wet palette. I'm only going to use a little bit because... Alright. So I am just going to mix water in until this is way too watery for my usual liking. God damn it. I've never painted minis, and like it seems like they wouldn't take a ton of paint to cover one, but they really don't. How long does one of those pots of paint last you? I have had some of these my entire career. I've been painting minis for almost 5 years now. And there's some of these that have survived. Realistically, what some of these paints do is they actually end up drying out on me, especially some of the whites. Like my white here. This one is actually pretty much dead. It actually is clumped up inside, but there's still some redeeming value of it left. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. We're going to test this on one area. Oh, no, that's not wet enough. Well, I gotta... And screwed up already. Okay, no. God damn it. Oh, fuck. Okay. So, my attempt to just water the shit out of it didn't work. There's still a little fucking ring there. Okay, just let it dry, Jake. We'll get to it. Okay. Alright, we're gonna do the hard way. Call it texture. Yeah. But we're gonna do this the hard way. Okay, I am still gonna water it down a little bit. Man, Steve is just gonna get more and more special. Indeed, he is. Why is my paint... Why is my... Why is my teacup over there? Okay, I actually need to replace you, so you need to be over there. Might just acquire some sentimental value. I'm starting to think so. But I've tried 2 things today. And, they have both failed. 3 things. Sorry. Wow. Okay, we're gonna use this brush. Okay, because what I need to be careful of. I can't wet this too much, but at the same time, it's like a retarded horse from Family Guy. Okay, so this isn't completely saturated. It is picking up some of the details that I really didn't want it to, but, you know, whatever. We'll fix it. So I'm just going to kind of do various patches of this gray. All over. God damn, it's bubbling. That's what I get for using too much goddamn water. Yeah, so I'm just going to kind of cover areas. It's going to look like a cow for a little while. But trust me, it's not going to be the end result. Moo horse. So these have these kind of like feet coverings. He's bilingual now, too. God damn it, Steve. You're making us all look bad. All right. Well, now if you look very carefully, we're going to paint the horse crotch. Because apparently the inside of this horse is... You're embarrassing me in front of the wizards. Because the inside of the leg areas here are apparently much darker. Quite possibly from a combination of all the nasty things you do with that area. I'm like a lewd Bob Ross. Only a lot less talented. And if anybody tells me, no, Jake, that's not true, you have not watched Bob Ross. Because Bob Ross is a goddamn wizard. There are a few compliments I will take. I mean, that I won't... Fuck, never mind, I don't care. And he's a Floridian. Look at this horse's ass. Isn't it beautiful? I put all this fucking work in just to fucking paint a goddamn Mother Teresa. Fuck it. Holy shit. Horse's got the Buddha. It's got the Buddha. The horse has 2 testes because everyone needs a friend. We're going to set this one aside. Because you know what? I'm going to start over. I'm not feeling that one. Instead, I'm going to wrap up this other mini. Because it's staring at me. And if I don't wrap it up, I think it's going to kill me. Yeah, I need to take a step back from it. So instead I'm going to jump into doing tiny fucking details. Because we are going to try to finish up Metal Man here. And I just got to remember where the hell I was. There's something on your crotch plate, and it's not the crotch plate. Nope, this one doesn't have enough of a point. Oh, I think... Nope, not that one. Ah, here's my pointy boy. Haha! I have you, scoundrel. There we go. There was a little hair or something on the metal there. Okay, so now that I'm ignoring Steve, you are gonna be a special boy, because motherfucker, you are gonna take some special work. Okay, so we're just gonna take a big old glob of this and nearly completely miss it by smacking the microphone with this, as per my MO. And it's tiny brush time. I also need a new one of these. Oh, no. Inside's... Nah, I'm just going to get a new one. Because it's not dry enough. The whole thing was soaking wet. Let's get a new piece of paper towel. Alright, I think I know where I was. Ooh, did I not finish the back plate? I do not think I finished the ass plate. I think I missed some stuff. Shit. I mean, that sounds like me. I'm glad I'm catching it now instead of, the end of this paint job. Because that always ends up happening. I'm like, Silence of the Lambs is better than The Shining. Okay. I'll have to take time to watch it. Paint a little bolt there. Is this because you don't like The Shining or because you really like Silence of the Lambs? That's a great question. So, Katie was downstairs watching Silence of the Lambs. Is it both, dear? Because you just said yes to an or question. That explains all of your podcasting. Or all of your podcast listening. Okay, so I did get one line, but it was another edge I completely missed. Which was that top one. Just saw The Shining last year. I gotta do Silence of the Lambs soon. Yeah, so I actually read The Shining before I watched the movie. They just put it back on Netflix. God, I've got so much shit to watch. Jake and I just watched The Shining over Xmas. Yes. So I finished reading the book, and my mom was like, "Oh, have you seen the movie?" And my mom, oh, I love my mom. She's the same person who introduced me to Alien, Terminator, pretty much horror movies, horror movies and science fiction. So she was ecstatic when she was excited when I was reading the book and said that I should watch the movie. So I ended up watching it with her. I've read like a chapter of The Shining, but I feel like it's something that hits a lot harder as a book. There are things that Stanley Kubrick, when he was making The Shining, could not do. So there are some parts in the book that, in my opinion, are better, but there are parts of the movie I like a lot more. Particularly, and Katie and anybody who has seen it will know this, it's a lot of the scenes with Jack Torrance in like the bar of the ballroom of the hotel, and with Lloyd and all that. Oh no. I think I hear Katie coming upstairs.
I have to pee, you jerk.
Oh, okay. Yes, my mom is awesome. She pretty much is what fostered me into becoming a nerd. So without her, there wouldn't have been Nerdolopedia. But then again, my dad also did play video games, and so did my uncle, so I got more experience from that. And funny enough, before even getting into streaming, my mother pointed this out. I used to play games for an audience at a young age because my mother would love. You've got a bunch of nerd layers. Yes. But my mom used to not want to play games, but she'd want to watch games. So even before access to Twitch, and dear, you are bounding through my office like a T-Rex, because every little bounce I could feel.
I need to borrow this.
Why?
For a reason.
As you shake everything in the room. Yeah. No, I've always been surrounded by nerdy people. One of the games I actually haven't played in a little while is the newer Tomb Raider games, which I've actually only streamed when I had time to stream them, and when my mother was available. And I haven't done it in some time, but okay. I went back over the legs, and I think those are good for now. All right, so we're gonna start moving up the torso because I know I got these lower back plates.
Okay, I'm gonna bound through your room again.
Okay, Rexy.
I had painted the bottom drawer of the sink cabinet
Yeah?
to itself. So I needed to.
So you needed literally any tool that could have gotten in there. So you decided to use my painting thing.
Yes, because it was the thinnest and sharpest thing I had. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alright, so. Ooh. That look. So there's something there. I think I might want to paint that. But I don't know if I want to stick with. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. I got a great idea. This could be terrible, but. I think. Yeah, Warpstone Glow. So, for most of these lights, I have red. I want to do a green. One singular green light. One, because it's kind of just there. No, my OCD, you found it. But I think overall that doesn't look horrible. I'm just gonna have to do some lighting effects, but I'm doing lighting effects last. Okay. So, going back to the edge highlighting. Because this edge highlighting will actually be important when I do lighting. Because it'll make... What brand of paints do I use? I use Citadel Paints by Games Workshop. The only reason I do that, I have no, like, industry insight of, like, this paint is particularly better for this reason. No, it's because this is what I started with, and it's too expensive to go back and redo my collection. So, that is the only reason I use Citadel Paints. Because I know people have hailed Reaper paints and their line, which is great. But unless I can completely change my entire stock, I ain't going away. I mean, yes, it does the job. Because these are specifically designed for miniatures, just, Games Workshop stuff. So you don't know if there's paints that don't benefit from the blood diamond trade. You are correct. I have no idea. How unethical of me to be such a blind consumer. Alright. Alright, so for this, I'm just going to paint a little bit in the raised area in the center. Back to the drawing board. I mean, at the same time, it's not public knowledge that Games Workshop would give away if they benefited from the Blood Diamond trade. At times, though, their minis are so detailed, I'm starting to think they might. So some people find edge highlighting really difficult, when really there's an easy way to do it, and it's just to use the edge of the brush, because, which is why I'm not buying their bull honky. Their miniatures are expensive, but in my opinion, the quality of Games Workshop minis are almost worth it. At least from a painter standpoint. From a gamer standpoint, it starts to get difficult to justify. Because I've been on both ends. I mean, actually, no, I've only been on the painter end, so. Okay. Thin horizontal line across that cylinder. Alrighty. Okay. Keep following this edge. So the nice thing is that if I do this edge highlight that's brighter around here, one, I can cover up some mistakes I made, and two, when I apply the wash to make the glow, inherently it will be brighter on this edge, which is where I want it to be. Which, by the way, Benji, you reminded me, I need to finish watching The Good Place. I just started I finished season 1, and I need to finish season 2. So that will probably be my next Netflix binge. The Good Place has been one of my favorite shows I've seen recently. I like to hear that, because season 2 I don't know anything about. Season 1 I kind of went into it already knowing it, but man, the reveal is good. It's so weird being on top of shows and movies compared to you. Well, have you caught up on One Piece yet? I don't expect anyone else to be caught up on One Piece. Technically, I'm not, because I haven't seen the most recent episode. But I'm going to fix that after this stream tonight. No Everyone's caught up on One Piece, not even the creators. I know the intro songs. I think that's good enough. Do you know all 21 of them? I think there were I think there's 21 of them. God, I missed the last one. What the fuck? Yeah, One Piece has been going on for a while. One Piece is a true dedication. I actually watch the show every week. And it is the only reason I own a Funimation account. Oh, Sarah, then I've got one more quiz for you. Do you know the Funimation first one or the 4Kids first one? Well, realistically, the only one 4Kids did. I thought that sentence was going to end with the only reason I have to live. No, because I paint minis and I play video games. I've got Monster Hunter, thank you. Four Kids all the way. Ugh! I mean, the 4Kids One Piece rap was interesting. But I very much prefer the Funimation English dub of that. I was an actual child at the time, so... What the fuck is my phone doing? No, dear, you're the only reason I'm alive, not my reason to live. There's a difference. Right. Your spirit cannot rest until Steve has ascended to the place of finished miniatures. Other 4Kids intros I love. Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, I'll admit, I really did like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Intro. I sort of liked the show. Yu-Gi-Oh! It's time! God damn it. Oh. God, me and my friend Kaylee obsessed over Yu-Gi-Oh! I still have my Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. Well, one of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks. It's fucking stupid. But, you know, I could have been into drugs. Instead, I got into video games and D&D. Not a true player unless you've been watching Digimon. I did used to watch Digimon for a little while. I didn't watch it too much because I didn't really have access to television for the longest time. And when I did, it was very limited. So there were certain shows that I'd watch and not others. Only because of time. Oh, God, speaking of, 90s kid life, I just looked up the Funimation intro, and I do actually know that one, too. Oh, good. I really like the Funimation one. And there is a YouTube... There's a song person. So fucking eloquent. Yeah, same. We only had local channels. I only saw whatever happened to be on. I only watched Digimon before school until they moved the time slot. But there is a YouTuber called Amelie. She does a bunch of dubbed versions of anime songs. And I love her stuff. She did There's my favorite One Piece intro of all of them. She did, and it's I think it's called Hope. And actually, just watching the animation of it, God. Here, I'll type it. She also goes by Lee and Lee. Before school, it was Pokemon Diamond. Then they changed it. Then I was stuck watching Escape to Chimp Eden on Animal Planet. You're not going to believe this, but I didn't watch cartoons in the morning. Because I never could wake up early enough. But yeah, Emily does some fucking amazing work. She also does... Jake will be listening to her music, and I'll scream from the other room, Jake, what is this from? Because I only know the Japanese versions. She also does my favorite opening from Overlord, which is Veracity. Oh, Veracity's so good. Then again, I'm sitting here going, I need the next season of Overlord. Give it to me. And instead I'm reading novels because I can't get my dark fantasy fix enough. God. Maybe I should rewatch Overlord. There's a very slight crease in the metal here. Ah, fuck! Oh, we're good. My finger slipped. But Emily does intros and outros, and I just love them all. But despite how much of a time commitment One Piece is, I really enjoy the story. The characters that they've developed work really well, and there are some periods in the anime where it's a little bit slow. I recognize that, but they're usually never just trying to kill time. Well, I found a paint set I like. Time to drop $100. Oh? What paint set did you find? Did you do the research? Do they support blood diamond trade? Because I've heard good things about Army Painter too. Army Painter. Army Paints, yeah. Yeah, I've heard good things about that. There are some of my old Warhammer buddies would swear by it. No, they do not. They are heavily in Colombian cocaine, though. Oh, okay, so no big deal. Only minor stuff. All right. Look at the hair on my arm. No, don't. Oh no, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed by the one thing that's all over me. Ah. You saw nothing. I'm just drinking tea. I totally meant to throw my brush. It's a professional thing to do. Sounds like we may have lost Sarah to YouTube. Sorry. No, it's fine. It's fine. I basically directed you there, so all my thought was like, oh, she might have found something she liked. She's so she is on Spotify too. So these songs are nostalgic. Yes. Oh. But she is so good. Because she doesn't just manage to put her own spin on it. But like she manages to capture the essence of, like, it's not just she doesn't really remix it all that much. But oh god, and the number of My Hero, I think she did all of the My Hero Academia intros. And I think some of the outros too. Gosh. We need My Hero Season 4. Academia is such good music. Yes, I agree. I think my favorite of the My Hero songs is Odd Future. It may also just be because that's the one I listen to consistently. All right. It's head painting time. Oh, excuse me. Underworld is a true gift. Oh yeah, Underworld's good too. God, they're all good. Don't make me choose! Oh, yeah, I need to catch up on Fairy Tail. So, the last season of Fairy Tail, if you were not counting Fairy Tail Zero, the last season of Fairy Tail really disappointed me. I was actually almost furious with the show. But because this is hailed as the last season of Fairy Tail, I'm kind of like, well, I'm in it for... I gotta watch it. But yeah, so I forgot I gotta catch up on that too, but that probably won't be tonight. I also gotta figure out what I'm reading next. So I just finished my book class. I finished the Dark Tower book. And now I need something else. Because god damn it. You've been reading a bunch. I have been. So a lot of the reason that I'm doing that is because I'm in the middle of writing a book. I've been trying to discern what is the difference between like a youth adult book and like an adult book. Because fuck if there's anybody who can describe it. And so I've been reading a lot of what's considered dark fantasy stuff, just trying, or like old fantasy stuff, just so I can get an idea of what's considered my target. But yeah, so it's a long ways off. And so I've just been reading a bunch of stuff. So that's why I read the first of the Dark Tower books. I read all of the Lord of the Rings. God fucking damn that shit. I usually think youth is younger oriented, but I don't know if there's an official divide. There's not really. Like they're like, well, usually youth adult is more aimed towards teenagers, so usually, oftentimes the protagonist is a teenager, but it's not always the case. And at first I was like, well, maybe it's, content, because I have some pretty gruesome scenes in my book. Yeah, I'm not going to describe any of it in case people are wanting to read it, because it would basically be a spoiler. But yeah, I have some pretty graphic shit that happens, and the whole place is just kind of, well, for anyone who paid attention to this, yeah, kid books can be dark, and that's why I'm like, I'm a little bit worried that this is not actually an adult book. Cirque du Freak was definitely meant for younger readers, and that stuff was wild. Yeah. I don't know. Add boobs. Will adult then? Oh. See, that's the thing. I actually have zero... Damn it. I actually don't have any... Well, there's kind of a love interest involved in this, but I think it really hinges kind of more on writing style and pacing. Yeah, I think so too. It might also be word count to some degree, but that one I can't confirm. You don't have any boobs? Shame. No, I don't. I... It's not that I don't like that kind of content, but it just didn't fit with the story that I was telling. I mean, there's kind of close, but... He borrows them from me. Yeah, there's enough in my life. I don't need to add more. My roommate read and loved Cirque as a kid, and she told me about it, and oof. It's starting to sound like I need to read it. If anything, for an understanding. But what is interesting is that I may have accidentally written a story. I don't remember the contents of the book. I just remember them being wild. I may have written a story that kind of reflects... trying to think. There's a lot of death and gore. I mean, so mine does too. Not a ton. It's usually pretty controlled. At the same time, in the current edition, there's a suicide scene. Not suicide, but like a assisted suicide. I'm just going to mention, my world's dark. And grim, and there's people dying everywhere. But that scene actually may be edited out, not because it doesn't fit, but because the rest of the book kind of changed some. So Tarantino, but ancient. It's where Quentin Tarantino got all of his inspiration. I keep looking at over there. But I also started realizing while I was reading Dune that I may need to go back and rewrite large portions of my book, because I was basically doing third-person omniscient viewpoints, but not fully committing to it. And so it's decided you gotta add a paladin with an overuse of the word motherfucker. So there's already a paladin in my book. She's a fucking badass. Wow, it's kind of weird that actually most of the female characters survive by the end of the book. Huh. But she's actually against the hero. Well, I say hero, but the hero of the story. Okay, at first I thought that these were just... Hey, congrats for that. Yeah, that was actually by accident. Because I don't always write just to, I don't write to obtain a specific goal. I write to what feels natural. And, apparently it was natural for most female characters to survive. Most, not all. I can't let everyone survive. Huh. I did some scrunching of numbers and I have money this whole process. Ladies are good at that. Yes, because the guys make stupid fucking decisions. Although I realize that I kill most of the females that I have dead in the book. Usually before the book starts. So they're already like dead ahead of time. But yeah, I realized after I had written my first draft that the guys will do stupid things for a pretty lady because of the power of boners outweighs common sense. So actually in this case, okay, one character maybe, but not the other characters. A lot of the other characters are... God, it's hard to describe without just spilling the details of the book. But anyway, so I realized actually closer to the end of my first draft of the book that I had sort of written a story where the main character is almost like a surrogate for what is it? It's like the viewpoint that trans individuals experience, and it was completely by accident. Because and this is not a spoiler, the main character is a dragon who is trying to hide his identity from the people around him. Then don't. I understand that struggle with hanging out with my friends who are also playing my campaign. Oh, yeah, no, it's... I do very well at keeping things under wrap. Katie's usually the one that gets, like, the spill of, oh my god, this is happening, oh my god, this is also happening. I'm like, oh my god, if I could tell you, you'd die. Yeah, Katie knows most of what's going to happen in Tales from the Tavern before the players end up finding out about it. But yeah, so I had written a story that was not what I was expecting. Maybe I'll give a meta speech once Strahd wraps up. I have yet to play Curse of Strahd, but that is because I do not run modules. But I actually have to sit down and finish. Allow me to run it so you can experience bad DMing in a dark setting like Barovia. Jake's an independent man who don't need no modules. I just do not... I feel too restrictive when I use them. So yeah, I'm a strong independent dungeon master who don't need no modules. First I thought that this was just kind of jagged for no reason, like it was ripped metal, and I'm realizing that no, it's not. It's actually this way. There's actually a pattern to it that I didn't see! I've heard good things about it, and I want to read the book, because I will usually read a module, I just won't run it. Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide is a helpful way to me, someone who likes inventing campaigns but struggles with history and lore. See, I have the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. I've also listened to audiobooks of R.A. Salvatore's Drizzt novels. I am familiar somewhat with the Sword Coast. My problem is that I guess I don't really like the Sword Coast. There's too much there that if I running games, I feel restricted by someone else's world. I feel less. I feel like I have less freedom, especially with the way that I run games. Where, hey, there's a random monster. Where if I did that in most Sword Coast games, people would be like, what? That's not a thing in Dungeons and Dragons. I know my players wouldn't, but there's a certain amount of expectations that come from it. So instead, I just created a world where I can literally make shit up, and it's almost part of the world, the lore of the world.
Jake,
Yes.
where the hell did you put my hairbrush?
Fuck, I don't know. Where'd you put it?
I put it in the drawer.
Uh-huh.
You took it out of the drawer.
No, you took it out of the drawer and handed it to me.
Do not make me put my foot up your ass. I will sacrifice a perfectly good foot to shove it up your gross, disgusting ass.
I have no idea, but I have another hairbrush here if you want to use it for now. It's this one.
You stole that one too? You're a bastard!
I remember the whole Monster Manual, Vola's Guide, and Mordenkainen's, and that is not acceptable. I got introduced through almost entirely homebrew stuff, so like I always kind of thought the point was to go off in whatever direction sounded fun. Yeah, you guys got to experience that exchange. We are getting closer to the end. And by that I mean the end of the edge highlighting, which realistically is the hardest part. But I realize I actually need to write an article soon. I was actually in the middle of, and actually you guys might be excited for this one. I'm actually writing an article on how I design monsters. Yeah, it's going to be lots of fun. And psychology, because I study psychology and philosophy, and God, I study a lot of things in my free time. And by free time, I mean while I'm at work with YouTube playing, because sometimes work allows that. Especially when things are slow. But yeah. I need to write an article about my unhealthy use of legal pads in all aspects. What? I didn't realize that could... You know, I was about to say I don't understand how that could be the topic of a article. But, I've done weirder. Sort of. Maybe. Fuck, I don't remember all the articles I've written. I know I did one recently on how to use Monster Hunter to improve your storytelling. Fuck! There's another area I can use red. I simply cannot live without yellow paper and blue lines. Hey, everyone's got their thing. I like how all the players were like, oh my god, how can you write in that beautiful notebook of yours? I'm a monster. I actually don't know where to get legal pads. I've never thought about it. Like, I've always just ended up with them. I've never bought one. Walmart, Staples. You know, that's fair. I guess I've just never looked for them. Office Depot. I gotta make sure I remember what fucking red I was using. I had to stock the office department too many times. I know all the paper we had. See, I prefer whiteboards, which is actually why I have a whiteboard over here, which I need to update soon. Yeah, I very much prefer whiteboards. If I write it down, I'll remember, but only if I handwrite it. I have like 7 sticky notes of lists to my laptop screen right now. That's awesome. God, now I have Odd Future stuck in my head. I can't listen to it. I usually use tiered lists for notes. I store everything in my brain because I'm crazy. Underworld anime songs are the best. And wait, Overworld. Oh, god damn. You know, I haven't even touched the base for this thing. Like, I painted it a solid color and then I just never did anything with it. But I think he's turning out okay. Shit, what arm? Oh, okay, I was working on this arm. I lost track of the arm for a second. My brain can hold like nothing. I'd drop dead without paper. Thank you. If I can get him done tonight, oh, that'll be a euphoric sensation. So I'm also trying to, with these edge highlights, highlight all the scars that are on here, because it'll make them pop. Ah! I think that was a beard hair. Oh, shit. And I realize sometimes when I'm painting that the mini covers what I'm painting, which is why I actually need to switch the side of where the camera is. The problem I'm running into is actually the webcam. Because the webcam is USB. And it is pretty much at its maximum length right now. So I know some people who actually paint minis. They actually will not edge highlight the entire thing. They'll edge highlight only where the light's hitting. But I enjoyed this style a bit more. So I guess that's really just, me doing my own style of minis. And I almost enjoy, because it's almost like that cell shading. It does, however, mean that I have a lot more work. Ooh, I actually missed a spot on his head. I also need a little bit more of this. Because I'm actually running out of paint on my palette, which is weird. Usually I have too much left over. Okay, I still have 3 hours on the on that card. Sarah, you might not. I think I said this earlier. I actually am recording this with this camera, so I'm getting more raw footage of me just painting this. Ooh, I don't like that line. Whoop! Almost lost him. Yeah, I'm trying to collect more sort of raw footage of me just painting minis. So I might be able to use them for YouTube videos later if I find the time to edit them and if I actually have a project that I think they would go well with. I used to do time-lapse videos. But I stopped those because I started streaming. And I didn't have the raw footage like this. Because I used to use just another webcam. But instead, I switched to this because I can get it better. I feel you. I'm also recording a bunch of menial gameplay in Eve for propaganda purposes. Won't use 90% of it. Yeah. It's kind of how I'm feeling at this point. We'll see how much I use. Because I might choose to do some painting tutorials. Or I might do my time-lapse videos again, but I don't know at this point. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I already do a lot. So I'm hesitant to pick up more work. Whew. So, depending on how quickly I end up working tonight, because I plan on sitting down and editing my novel some, because I'm woefully behind on it. I need to pick up the fucking pace and get through this second edit so I can make some goddamn progress on it. I might actually be able to print out another chapter tonight. Might. Don't know yet. I'd love to be able to. Okay, so I have avoided the hands for now. But... So yeah, to be more specific about what I mean by printing out a chapter, is I actually print it out on 8.5 by 11 sheets. And then I stick it in a binder for me to go over with Bailey and go through a much more thorough edit with like pens and shit, because that's just so much more satisfying. Yeah, it's been a while, but we had what we called an editing party, where we sat down and we sat down at a bar, took up a booth, and helps it see why you made certain changes. Yes, indeed. But we just sat down at a bar, took a booth, grabbed food, and then just went at it. God, why does the back of my shirt keep rolling up? It's so fucking dumb. Alright. Gonna do the hands. Bwam. Realistically, these aren't that hard because they're sticking out. Okay. So do this seam around the fingers. And then what I like to do a singular line along some cylinders, especially metal ones. All right. There's sort of one hand. Yeah, that hand's good enough. But yeah, I'm excited for when me and Bailey can do that again. Because she tore apart my entire prologue. And I did rewrite that. That one is in draft 3. And draft 3 is actually what I send out to beta editors. Beta readers. So I have a very small list of some readers right now. I haven't quite opened it up to everybody. But I'm doing it one chapter at a time. So I actually just emailed them all out. Hey, I updated the document with the most recent chapter. Yeah. It's lots of fun. And I really like how the prologue turned out. Okay, so there's 2 spots I missed. 3 technically, but I consider 2 of them the same. It's these little arm vents here. Almost done with these edge highlights. Oh, and it appears as though I missed some gashes. So there's this one here. It's kind of... Ooh. It's kind of 2 gashes. But there's a few gashes here on the inside of this forearm. God, I hold this so loosely. Okay, and the last edge highlight that I need to do for now the eyes. Okay, cool. So, that is one edge highlight. There is one thing I'm going to do. It's kind of an edge highlight. It's kind of not. But I'm going to give the illusion of this super bright green that I've never used. I only need like a tiny amount of it. Because for this, just a little dot of green. Brighter green. Almost like that, what is that? It's like the reflection that you get on spherical or any surface that's reflective. Wow, that was fucking specific. Okay, and there was a few more red areas that I missed. That is the wrong red. Ooh, again. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. At least that's what I'm gathering from your responses. Okay, so there's a few of these red spots that were like these, and I think I already chose the wrong red. Fuck it, it's too late. It's too late. I painted it. We're not going back. Wow, that one turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to. This back one here, I was really worried about that actually, because it was deeper than the rest of them. But instead, the paint just pooled in there. Okay. Oh, we are on the home stretch. All right, so I'm gonna get my Dull 2 out. So there's a few things we need to do. I need to find the correct color that I'm going to use for this. Okay. We're going to use this one. This is my new one. This is a yellow shade. So what I'm going to be using this for is I'm going to be using this for all of kind of the lights. Nope, I don't like that one. I've changed my mind. I don't like it. It sucks. Okay. Got some other ones here. No. Nope. Okay, we might be using a glaze instead. Which isn't a bad thing, because if we use this, then I can use the green one too. This one is called Bloodletter. So it's slightly different from a wash because it has very minor differences in properties. But it will do what I want it to do. So I'm just paint over that. And then over these areas, I'm going to be a little bit more liberal about it. I'm just kind of going over this. Not that much. Holy shit. Calm the fuck down, Jake. Yeah, so this will give a slight kind of illusion of a glow. Some places I'm going to put a little bit more to make it a bit more intense. A few layers of it will kind of help blend things together and make it come out. I've only recently really been doing anything with lighting because I've always been worried about doing them. Because I have not felt too confident in it until really that recently. Okay. I do need to get some of this paint out of the eye sockets. Yeah. All right. So, one more lighting effect. And I'm going to be using the green glaze, which is Weight Watcher Green. Because we have... Oh, my brain hates it when I do that. Because we have a green light right here. I'm going to kind of have this spill into here. Then kind of push this out just a little bit. So I'm gonna let that dry, and then I want to do one more coat of the green because I want the green to kind of pop a little bit. But one, I really like how the shininess of the metal kind of makes the parts between the armor almost not invisible, but like more hidden. Like it's harder to see. Or at least it doesn't catch your eye as much. You're more focused on the, oh my god, look at this mechanical monster. But yeah. Okay. So we have a little bit left of him to do. And by that I mean a dollop of paint. So with my last 20 minutes, I'm not going to be able to knock out a whole mini, but I think I can do pretty well. So I've actually had this one sitting on this base. We have a little mushroom guy, but I don't want to do the big one. Not yet. So we're going to do this. We're at least going to base these guys. So I have 3 of them. And where is the big brush? Where is the big brush? Oh, there it is. Okay. So, we are going to start off. So this is the first time I've actually gotten to use this thing. And I already know I'm going to get paint all over this sucker. So I'm kind of going based off of memory here, but I'm painting these sort of like the mushroom men from Dark Souls. I do have reference images, but just not here. Not on yet. Probably next week when I actually finish picking these up. Because I plan to finish these guys next week. Because sometimes minis are simple. Like these. These guys are going to come down to about, let's see, two different base coats. Okay, I'm not going to count the base in this, because if I count the base in this, it will just kind of change everything. So these guys have about 2 base coats, maybe 3 or 4 different layered colors. But we'll see. Yeah, if I can get some of the basing done tonight. I won't be able to get all of it. You love its face? I know, it's so awesome. So cute! It's just a little cutie patootie. Alright. Okay. So I'm just giving him multiple coats. To hide the black. And then once I get this coat done, yeah, it looks like I I can go back to Mr. Roboto and finish it. Oh, you know what? I haven't finished Mr. Roboto. Bad Jake. Because I still haven't done his base. I already love this handle thing. God, he kind of has a little butt, too. He's got little butt folds. No, but this is a good solid base for me to work with. Except I'm missing a very small area. Hey! Stop showing through. Alright. First base color of them. A little bit light, but almost stuck that in my teacup. My coffee cup, which is full of tea. So it's a teacup. Alright, so we are going to set my fucking teacup to the side. And we're going to finish up. My roommate, who doesn't watch One Piece, just came from her nap and just started singing the 4Kids One Piece opening. All right! That's fantastic. Okay. Last little bit of the light. So I can take this just a little bit out because it'll make it a little bit more intense. How did she know? Another sister has fallen. Okay, cool. So, now we're going to wrap up this base, which is a fucking mess because it's got blue shit all over it. So what we're going to do, we are going to cover this in Dawnstone. God, now I really can't wait to watch One Piece tonight. It comes out on Saturdays, but I always end up watching it on Sunday. That went all the way to the floor. Oh, you little bastard. Trying to escape me, I see. Well, no hope. When all hope is lost. And finished up my final bit of last-minute work for my online course. So I realized I'm really fucking weird because I miss college to some degree. Because I kind of miss math homework. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back through there. Differential equations? It's been a while since I've done them, but You hate them? I was tutoring my sister in calculus when she was in college. She's younger than me, so it like I actually had those courses before her. But I fucking loved calculus. I still watch math videos. Yes, there are math videos. So some of my favorite videos come from a channel called Numberphile. And there's some mathematicians that show you some fucking crazy shit. But yeah, there's people who, like, discuss math stuff on YouTube. Dear, this isn't what it looks like. I swear. 哦 It might be the equivalent of walking in on your boyfriend watching porn, but instead it's math. God damn it. This is the part that's freaking me out. I have seen 3 blue, 1 brown. Three Blue, One Brown has some cool videos, especially about like, he does do some geometry videos, and the pi signs are adorable. It was. Thank you so much for stopping by, Sarah. It's awesome to have you here. I hope you have a great night. And I hope the One Piece song is stuck in your head. I will be roommate won't let it fade away. Have a great night. Okay. This cleaned up fairly well, and I didn't completely fuck it up. Yet. That legendary place where the end of the map reveals it's only legendary till someone proves it real. So, with something massive like this, I realize that there's something I want to do because it's going to be fucking awesome. Okay, so once I have the floor dry, so I'm gonna paint around the edge again, because I feel like he's not menacing enough. And I love doing little effects. Okay. So I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna run a little bit over today, but it's gonna be for good reason. Okay, I need the black wash. So I will need the black wash. I'll also need a lighter gray. Actually, no, I can use the same gray. Use the same gray. I'm going to put some of these paints away just so I can not fucking forget. Okay. Those. White Watcher green. Flagon orange. White scar. You're there. Bloodletter. Rack Fish. Okay, so. Okay. Unfortunately, I suddenly realized, oh, I am about to use a wash on this. That is a-okay. I think we will still have time. So, we do this. Highlights the cracks in the stone. But I think his base is boring. So, we are going to spruce it up a little bit. It's an old favorite paint of mine. But while I'm waiting for this to paint, I'm going to do the second base coat on the Mushroom Man. Do you know the Mushroom Man, the Mushroom Man, the Mushroom Man? Do you know the Mushroom Man? He punches you in the face. Okay. I'm just trying to get some of these cracks filled in. And then my face! I'm also going to paint the edge here, just to keep the color consistent. Okay. We will set him aside. God damn it. The reds always seem to like almost feel like they're popping off the mini. That seems wrong. Hold on. I'm going to pull up a picture. Because pictures are the way the world works. Dark Souls Mushroom Child. I suppose that makes sense. So I'm going to need to go back with the old one. Well, physics is the way the world is governed to work. Yes, but we process everything visually. So life is a bunch of pictures. Really just adding more and more layers of this. Get the underside here. Orc works. That works too. It's not quite dry yet, so I still have time to do this. No! I sprayed a little on him! That's fine. I've got this. Okay, I actually need Rakarth's flesh back. Because what I'm gonna do... fuck you. Stay open, bitch. You're mine. So I need to, one, paint back over his face. Because I fucked that one up. But then I'm also going to paint under here with this color. Because the underside of this is much more brown. But my plan is to paint it this color and just do several coats of the brown wash. Over it. And I'm going to need a smaller brush to avoid overlapping base colors. Because that is no bueno. We'll use this one. So we're just gonna go in here, gonna fill that like so. By leaving that little lip of red and not just painting it entirely red, we have a visual connection between the two that's not just the model. So we also have a color connection. And that makes it slightly more believable. Hello, dear.
Hello. Going to bed.
Alrighty. Mwah.
Mwah.
Good night, T-Rex. Got a big head and little arms. Okay. The best part about this is that if I don't completely cover the black on this underside, I'm not that worried because I'm just going to be covering the entire thing with brown. Well, with the brown wash. So it's not going to show up nearly as much. God, I keep thinking, like, did I just completely miss all of this? No, I just haven't made it a full circle. God, I really feel like I should fit. Alright, so it looks like our mechanical buddy is done. And by that, I mean on to phase 2. So in Jake's style, this isn't done. Not even close. I'm going to take the same color that I used. And I'm going to use that as the highlight color for the rocks. So, just on all the edges. Because as I said, I like this kind of cell shaded style I do. Not quite cell shaded, but it's like cell highlighted, I guess. Hey dear, you should make sure your car starts. That's probably a good idea. Just in case I have to work from home tomorrow. Hell. I like to paint rocks. I like trains. God, those are some videos I haven't seen in fucking ages. Everybody do the flop. Are you 2008 memeing yourself? Yes, I am. There's nothing you can do about it. Not today. My brain goes to mysterious places, and I don't have to explain myself. I'm not asking you to explain yourself, just confirming it. That's fair. God, I'm afraid to go back down that rabbit hole. You know what's blowing my mind is the fact that those memes came out in 2008, or at least were popular in 2008. Because holy shit. Alright, so there's that. But we're not done yet. I don't want to be reminded. One of my favorite technical paints. Blood for the Blood God. Alright, so. Ooh, this is gonna be fun! Okay. Take a little bit of this. Kind of just dollop over here. And what I'm gonna do... Get some on the knuckles. and just kind of on the fingers too. Just bloody up the fingers some. And you know what? I'm going to have to get that stippling brush back out. I'm so excited. What the fuck? Okay, so first we're going to clean this off because fuck. Also, I think this brush is coming apart. But here's what we're going to do. So first off, I need to do a practice shot. Yes. Oh, this is going to be so exciting. This is just fucking perfect. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, he's got blood on him now. Oh, yeah. I like that. And let's see, so we're going to take a little bit as well. And we are just going to... Okay, so we're going to eyeball this. You know, just for cool effect. I think I actually need a brush size smaller for some of this. Deep robot voice. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid the blood god demands your insides become outsides. Yeah. This is Hal 10,000. Oh god, that's his name. That's his name now. But a good piece of art tells a story. And in this case, this story was he just beat the shit out of someone. But yeah, what I do like is that the more I layer this, the less kind of spread out it gets. So I can actually make it look like it pools. I want to be able to get it to look like it's dripping, but that is a skill beyond me. Alright, and here we have him. Some bloody knuckles. Blood splattered all over. You know, unfortunately, I think I am going to need to add just a little bit more blood. God damn it. We're going to wrap up here soon. I just wanted to... I felt that it was necessary to put some of the blood on the arm since that's the... Since that's the thing that did, you know, the punching. Gratuitous violence? That's me. All right. And I think we're good for tonight. I'm going to call it there because I do need to sleep tonight. I do hope all of you enjoyed stopping by. And don't forget, Hal 10,000's watching you. Have a great night, everybody.